All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the August 12th regular Board of Supervisors meeting. As we'll call this meeting to order at 9 a.m. As customary. We'll start off with a moment of silence. I would like to acknowledge the first responders for their work this weekend. There was basically 3 fires this weekend. Awesome, yes. And so 2 in my district, I know 1 in Jessica's district, and it was pretty intense over in Lucerne. And so, everyone, they were on the side of the highway, everybody was blocked. It went by a structure, and I wanted to call out one person that did a great job, and his name is Shiloh Foltz. He's from North Shore Fire. He single-handedly saved the structure that was in that ardent fire. So all of the work they put in and done, it was really tough because Lucerne is just all a really small community, not small, but it's really packed in like a city. And so small city. So you got a lot of people walking out. They can't get out. You got one area blocked. They had to go to Clear Lake Oaks. Probably a third of the people cannot get to Clear Lake Oaks because they don't have transportation or anything. Luckily, when they decreased the evacuation order, people were able to go to the Lucerne Senior Center, which had solar. So without power in Lucerne, people were able to go there if need be. So just really wanted to just highlight that. I didn't know if you wanted to add about the fire in your district, but.
Well, I'll just add that early on in the spring, CAL FIRE had warned us all that it's going to be an early and active fire season because the vegetation growth on the landscape is at a 30-year high because we've had 3 years of really high precipitation. But because June and July were cooler than anyone can remember ever, we got a little bit extra time. So we are now squarely in fire season. The fuel moisture in the vegetation is getting to that level where ignitions are going to start happening. Like when we were over in Clear Lake a week or so ago, the brush was not burning there. That was a grass fire. And now we're seeing the brush starting to burn. So from here on out, we all have to be vigilant. We have to make sure we've got our defensible space, and we really have to work together and make sure that our friends and neighbors are safe if and when these events happen.
Thank you for that. And then lastly, there was that same night, there was a house fire. So that one wasn't necessarily because of defensible space or anything. This one was more than likely some activity that wasn't, allowed to be happening. But nonetheless, it could have affected the nearby houses. Luckily, there's been a considerable amount of reports on this facility and house that jeopardized the neighborhood. So for them to go straight to that fire to the next for that night, it was just, like they had to be just super tired. And then the next day. So anyhow, I wanted to give that shout out to the first responders and also to that gentleman who ran up a hill and saved that home. So, all right. Vice Chair Rasmussen, could you please lead us in the pledge?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Are there any extra items to add to the agenda?
There are no extra items.
All right. Next is the consent agenda. If there's anything that needs to be pulled from the consent agenda, I know right now we have 5.6, 5.7, 5.8, and 5.11, and 5.15. Anything else? I'll open it up to the public in case anybody would like to come up and pull something. All right, anything on Zoom? With that, we'll bring it back to the board for action.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to approve the consent agenda with the exception of items 5.6, 5.7, 5.8, 5.11, and 5.15.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, we'll address a lot of those a little later. Public input is the next, is our timed items, 6.1. Public input is a chance for someone to come up and speak on something that's not on the agenda, and you'll have 3 minutes. Is there anyone that would like to come up and speak during public input? Sterling, if you can unmute, and you have 3 minutes.
All right. Good morning, board. I'm here. If you guys can open up your emails, I was unfortunate not able to come, so I emailed all of you guys the charts in a PDF file. So this is about the Spring Valley water loss. According to the California State Water Board, a good running system keeps water loss within industry accepted limits. With only 420 customers receiving water, our water loss levels put us firmly in a category of a failing system. And by the chart you'll see in the email, it is clear this has been an ongoing issue for decades. During the 218 process last year, Supervisor Bruno was working to bring Special Districts Administration back to this board with the correct information for transparency. Since the 218 was shut down by the community, that accurate information was never brought forward. I am requesting that it be brought forward now, supported by the proof I have obtained by special districts and additional sources I have found to underscore the urgency of this matter. The Director of Special Districts knowingly moved forward with the 2024 Proposition 218 process while aware of this massive water loss, but did not include it in the rate study. That lack of disclosure breaks the transparency required by law and violates protections in the California Constitution. The director also has a troubling pattern of making unproven theft claims. She told the advisory board she marked a fence costing closely to $17,000 as urgent because she believes the community members were stealing cold patch. No proof given. This year, she claimed our major water loss was due to theft. Again, no evidence. This repeated baseless accusations are slander to our community and have caused real harm to its reputation. The neglect here is clear. The cost of treated water we've lost, included chemicals, employee labor, and power, far exceeds the value of the alleged $5,000 in cold patch. Ignoring this loss while spending unproven urgent project is not physically responsible, it's mismanagement. And I want to be clear, Spring Valley cannot be the only district in this county with this level of water loss. I strongly suspect other districts are experiencing similar loss, which could explain the repeated requests for new Proposition 218 rate increases. This matter should be on the radar of the Board of Supervisors, and under Government Code 54954.3, I am formally requesting that Chair Crandall and at least one supervisor support placing it on future agenda for public discussion action. We came together as a community last year to demand answers, and we are here again today to do the same. Now, we need the board to act. Thank you. And then I couldn't make it, so I will be coming up when I have a chance, and I will be turning in the packets that I have composed for all of you guys to be able to see the water loss, the variance from special districts. This has been almost a 30-year loss of around 32% of our treated water has been lost. And if you look it up in the California water codes, we are considered a failing system. And I would request that we start looking into the grants
Sterling,
that we can get to fix our water system. Because once we can fix our water system,
Sterling,
now our decaying
can you wrap
roads
up,
can
please?
be fixed with our property tax money. Thank you.
Thank you, Sterling. Thank you for your information and your comment. Are there any other comments on Zoom? I'll bring it back to the board, and we will go ahead and move on to our next item, which is Pet of the Week. Pet of the Week. Animal controls here to, animal care and controls here to introduce our
Can I
friend.
pick up the microphone?
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Officer Early with the Lake County Animal Care and Control, and this is Hamster. He's about 4 years old and 70 pounds of just pure love. He's fully vaccinated and neutered, and he's ready to go home today. While he's been in our care, he's played with all sorts of other dogs, and he's just really good with every animal we've put him with, and the entire staff just loves him and hopes that he can get another chance. He loves to play with toys and get treats and just cuddle.
He's very sweet, very lovable. He's actually been in and out of our shelter multiple times because his previous owner actually abandoned him a few times, so he's back in our care. But he's very lovable, very friendly. He gets along with dogs. He's fantastic. I personally like this dog a lot myself. But he's very friendly. If you follow Facebook, like the Lake County Scanner, he's the infamous Safeway dog that kept showing up at the Safeway parking lot. But very, very lovable. So if you guys are interested in him, I would highly recommend him. He's fantastic. Like I said, his name is Hamster.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, hamster.
Hey. We'll move on to our next item, which is 6.3, new and noteworthy at the library. And it looks like we have Jonathan online. Go ahead, Jonathan.
I'm Christopher. Christopher,
sorry,
Beach, County Librarian.
Oh my goodness. I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry, Christopher.
No problem. Thank you for giving me just a few minutes to talk about what's new and noteworthy at the library. And this month, I want to highlight Sunrise on the Reaping by Susan Collins. Suzanne Collins is an American author and television writer who is best known as the author of the young adult dystopian book series, The Hunger Games. For that series, Collins has won many awards, including the Locus Award, Teen Choice Award, and the California Young Reader Medal. And Collins lives in Connecticut with her husband and 2 children. Sunrise on the Reaping is a young adult novel that serves as a prequel to The Hunger Games. It's set 24 years before the events of the original story, and it delves into the 50th Hunger Games, a brutal annual death match orchestrated by a totalitarian regime in which Hamish Abernathy competed. Philip Womack writes for The Guardian, Collins is an excellent writer, and there are moments of surprising lyricism, which helps to lighten the grimness. In a literary touch, Hamish remembers a William Blake poem, Ah, Sunflower, reminding us both of radicalism and the importance of nature. The sunflower necklaces worn by tributes participating in the games are both symbols and, since they are fashioned from explosives, agents of destruction. The Sunrise on the Reaping is available now in print, audiobook, and ebook through the library system, and you can request this book or other materials through our online library catalog, which has the combined resources of Lake, Sonoma, and Mendocino County library systems. Requesting items is free, and items are sent to your local branch for you to pick up. I'm also excited to announce that our new modern online catalog is now available for preview. This new library catalog has a lot of features that residents might expect from a library website to help them find books, including search features and filters to help them find the items they need and check them out or request them. One thing I love that it does is show you all the different formats for a title under one listing, letting you see the full selection available and choose the format that works best for you. It also has related titles and reading recommendations, and library staff can also create lists of titles right on the catalog to help patrons discover new favorites. You can try it out today at lakecountyca.bibliocommons.com. There's also a link to the preview on our library website. So please try it out and give us your feedback. So you can learn more about our library system at our website at library.lakecountyca.gov, or of course, come visit your local library branch in Lakeport, Clear Lake, Middletown, Upper Lake, or on the Bookmobile. So thanks again for listening to what's new and noteworthy at the library.
Thank you. Is there anyone that would like to comment on this? All right, I'll bring it back to the board. Christopher, once again, I apologize for that. I know better. All right. We'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, which is 6.4, presentation of proclamation designating the 31st day of August 2025 as International Overdose Awareness Day. Supervisor Sabatier will be reading this proclamation. If you're here on behalf of this, please come up and join Supervisor Sabatier.
Please come on up. Good morning, everybody. Today is a proclamation designating the 31st day of August as International Overdose Awareness Day. Whereas International Overdose Awareness Day is a global campaign held on August 31st to end overdose, remember those who have died without stigma, and acknowledge the grief of family and friends left behind. Whereas in 2023, 28 people fatally overdosed in Lake County, which was the 7th highest overdose death rate in the state of California, and is 2 times higher than the California rate. Lake County's rate was 43.8 per 100,000, compared to California's rate of 20.81 per 100,000 deaths. This data came from the California Overdose Dashboard. Whereas every person should have access to resources that prevent overdose and other causes of drug-related mortality, including naloxone, sterile needles, drug testing, and medication for addiction treatment. People who use drugs continue to be stigmatized and marginalized, discouraging them from accessing care and treatment. Whereas in Lake County, dedicated prescribers of medication for addiction treatment, harm reduction providers, behavioral health providers, and addiction recovery programs work tirelessly to provide residents with these resources. All overdose deaths are preventable via access to harm reduction, health care, substance use prevention, and treatment services, and naloxone, the opioid overdose reversal agent. Whereas local communities play a crucial role in eliminating the stigma of addiction, including residents, elected officials, parents, private and public organizations, hospitals, law enforcement, first responders, schools, and colleges. And whereas, and maybe even bus drivers soon. And whereas SafeRx Lake County, an overdose prevention coalition comprised of local agencies and organizations, including Lake County Behavioral Health and Lake County Health Services, will host its 5th annual commemoration of International Overdose Awareness Day in Library Park in Lakeport on Saturday, August 23rd, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Lake County Board of Supervisors does hereby designate August 31st as International Overdose Awareness Day and urges Lake County citizens to join in this important observance. Passed and adopted on this day, the 12th of August, 2025, and signed by our board chair.
Good morning, members of the board and community members. Thank you for this designation of International Overdose Awareness Day and taking the time to honor the lives lost to overdose, support those in griefs, and recommitting to prevention of future tragedies. In our rural community, we felt the pain of overdose deeply. These are not just statistics. They are our neighbors, our family members, and our friends. Behind each number is a face, a story, and a life gone too soon. While today is heavy, it is also about hope. It's about breaking the silence around substance use and overdose, reducing stigma, and ensuring that help is available and accessible for all. It's about making sure that every person, no matter where they live, has access to evidence-based care, harm reduction services, and the dignity they deserve. For many years, stigma kept too many people from getting the help they needed, but together, our community has been breaking down those barriers, opening doors to treatment, harm reduction, and hope. Because of that work, we've seen a remarkable shift. In the last 5 years, our county has moved from the 2nd highest overdose rate in California to the 7th, and from 4 times the state average of overdose to just twice the state average. This progress shows that change is possible and lives can be saved. To continue this progress, SafeRx has worked to ensure that there are accessible naloxone stands around the county, which hold free life-saving medications for community members to arm themselves with in any instance of overdose. I want to take the moment to share that although some may believe naloxone enables drug use, this has been researched and is simply not the truth. There is no data to show that communities with widely available naloxone see increases in drug use. We also know that the burden of overdose is not felt equally. In our state and community, Latino men and Native communities have been disproportionately impacted. Due to historical racism and underserved populations, these communities more than ever need to be prioritized in prevention, treatment, and recovery efforts. These efforts must be culturally relevant, community-led strategies that honor traditions, reduce barriers, and ensure that no one is left behind. This day is also about continuing that momentum, creating meaningful conversations around substance use, and ensuring that people know help is available, and making sure every person has equitable access to harm reduction services. SaferX works alongside organizations doing direct service such as naloxone, syringe exchange, safer smoking supplies, test strips and drug checking education, medication for addiction treatment, and more. We cannot bring back the lives that we've lost, but we can honor them by working together across agencies, families, and communities to prevent more losses in the future. SaferX will be hosting the 5th Annual International Overdose Awareness Day event in Lake County on August 23rd from 11 to 3 in Library Park. This day is to commemorate the lives we've lost. Naloxone training, art projects, resources, and speeches from those who have been touched by this tragedy will be available. If you'd like to honor a loved one, please join us to decorate a headstone. On behalf of the Health Services SaferX Coalition, I'd like to thank the board for recognizing this important day, for standing with those impacted by overdose, and supporting the efforts that do save lives. Thank you.
Anybody? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to thank all of you for your commitment. As you mentioned, we're doing better than we were, but not the place that we're going to stop. I think it was last week we approved, in the last 2 weeks, we approved all of these contracts for increasing the services that we're providing here because we've recognized that this is an issue. We're facing it head on, and that's really how you make change. And so all of you are doing the heavy lifting and that hard work out there. So I have a lot of gratitude. This is a really difficult topic. There is a lot of stigma. We've experienced a lot of tragedies. But it's not something that we can hide from. We have to face it and work towards it. And so thank you all for the work that you do.
Vice Chair?
Yeah, I appreciate everybody's work. I think one of the significant reasons for the improvements that we had is because of the collaboration we have in this county with our, not only our public agencies, but also a lot of other nonprofit, non-government organizations that are out there helping. And we can only continue to help and get it better by continuing on that line. So thank you.
Supervisor Owen?
Wow. I was feeling pretty hopeless when I had seen that we were 2 times higher than the state average until I had seen, you guys had just mentioned the statistics on where we started from. And I didn't catch the date on that. 2019, 4 times the state average, and to improve and cut that in half, that's pretty impressive. So kudos and thank you so much for what you're doing. There is a stigma here, and you guys are working really hard to improve that, and I'm very impressed. So thank you for what you're doing.
Yes. It's one of these things where there's a lot of overdoses on Indian country. I just wanted to highlight that. But I also, I don't want to leave out the full county. But one thing that I really want to accentuate right now is that, I feel like we're a little downstream here. We're trying to, catch it when we can with naloxone and all of the other measures to try and prevent someone from losing their life. However, if there's a lot of folks that are considered overdoses which were actually murdered. And so because of the sale of it or whoever gave it to the person, some people are just constantly, that's just their lifestyle, they're addicted. But then there's some that are trying new things or just poisoned or whatever the case may be. So for me, my hope is that people that are affected by this and know if anything had happened to please reach out. Because either specific people are the only sole people going down for these things, and others are out there still selling this drug and still giving it to people, and this just creates the same cycle. And so if anyone has any information, please be brave, be courageous, and turn these folks in so we can get to the root of this and catch it upstream more. I'll open it up to the public if there's anyone out there that wants to speak on this. All right, no hands in Zoom. I'll bring it back to the board. If there's anything else to finish on? If not, then we have a picture that we need to take.
You ready? Okay. Oh, I got it. Thank you. Oh, wait. Hold on.
Can you see her?
Yeah. No. That's perfect. Oh, that's much better. Now I can see everything. Thank you. You're all hired.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we have our 6.5 consideration. Nope, we got 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
All right. Something quick. CAO Parker.
Since Director Arden is here, why don't we try to do 5, 6, and 5, 7?
5, 6, and 5, 7. Here we go. Approve, 5.6 is approve agreement for professional services to provide alternate public health officer services with Anju Goel, MD, MPH, for a term of 12 months for an amount not to exceed $95,000 for the term of the agreement, and authorize the Health Services Director to sign. Health Services Director Arton and Lisa Farraco. Do it right? Farraco. See, I knew it. Go ahead, Supervisor.
Yeah, the reason I pulled it, this and 5.7, is because I'm just wondering why we have to have 2 alternates, because we do have our new PHO starting soon, in a few weeks, and I don't believe we've had 2 alternates in the past. So just before we approve these 2 contracts, I just wanted to get a better understanding.
Yeah, thank you, Supervisor Pyska. The reason why is redundancy.
The light's on.
Yeah, I tapped it.
There you go. There you go.
Always have a problem with this thing. Okay, so part of the reason, redundancy, expertise. Each backup health officer brings a different level of expertise, continuation of operations planning, recruitment pipeline. Also, if our new health officer were to go out on a long vacation or medical leave, if we just had one, they may not be available that entire duration, so it'll give us another option to help for coverage. So it's, this would be a good thing for us long-term planning.
I'm kind of feeling like Jessica is, that one with our new health officer coming in, I just didn't see and I thank you for bringing that up, because I meant to.
Is the background concern cost?
Well, cost is always an issue. And I feel like we will have that redundancy when we have our PHO and our alternate. So I can't really justify having, a PHO on paid salary and then 2 contracts for backup.
I concur on that.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead, Vice Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Supervisors. I had the similar questions yesterday, but I did talk to Director Arton, and no longer have the concerns, just because of the implications that could happen if we don't have somebody readily available to go. For example, if the PHO, the permanent PHO, were to be, say, out sick or unavailable, and then also the backup was unavailable, then we're in a situation where we can't sign death certificates or birth certificates or things like that. I also had concerned about the cost as well, but in discussion, it sounded like we wouldn't most likely be anywhere near even the 95,000 with both of them combined over the course of the year. So that's why I was comfortable with it after I had discussion with Mr. Hart.
That's correct. It's just up to 95,000. Doesn't mean we're going to use the 95,000. It's one contract, I believe, is for 4 hours minimum a month, and the other one is for 6 hours minimum a month. So it would be at their hourly rates.
Supervisor Sabatier and then Supervisor Owen.
Just to clarify that, because I was just doing the quick math, and this wasn't necessarily an issue for me, other than if we use them, we have to use them. But if they're asking for 4 hours at $155 an hour, that's less than $7,500 for the entire year, if that's the only thing that we ask from them and we're not asking them to do the job. If we're asking them to do the job, we need them.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about if the fact is we need them. $7,500 is not something I'm too worried about at this moment in time.
Supervisor Owen.
Yeah, and you know what? That makes me feel better because I misread it. I thought it was $95,000 apiece.
No.
So that's why I was
Yeah.
concerned about it, was strictly because of the money. So, so
I'm glad I asked the question then.
Yes.
I kind of figured that might be the case.
yes,
Yeah,
that
it's
was it. So I
up
just
to
kind of I did read that portion, but I still thought we were contracting to 95,000.
Yeah. I apologize. It's just my emergency planner in me. I always like to have redundancy and lots of different expertise at the table again. Long-term wildfire, natural
Yeah.
disaster. It's good to have these health officers, another pandemic.
Yes.
Each one brings a different level of knowledge and different expertise, a skill set to the table. And again, God forbid if something were to happen to our primary health officer, it would be nice to have two on rotation filling in because sometimes you like to take a vacation.
No, I feel
Sometimes you're
better
not sick,
after
so.
finding out it was the hourly and 4 hours and 6 hours. So that's fine.
And I think the more relationships we have with people with this expertise, the health officer, again, it helps build that recruitment pipeline if there's ever an opening again in the future. And God forbid that doesn't happen anytime soon.
All right. If there's anyone from the public that has a question, concern, all right, I'll bring it back to the board for action.
Mr. Chair, I'm assuming that, well, we're just on 5.6.
5.6,
yes, but I will move to approve the agreement for professional services to provide alternate public health officer services with Andrew Goel, MD, MPH, for a term of 12 months for an amount not to exceed $95,000 for the term of the agreement, and authorize the health services director to sign.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Motion passes 4-1. Next, we'll cover 5.7 since we're there. Approve agreement for professional services to provide alternate public health officer services with Amy B. Garland, MD, LFD, LLC, for a term of 12 months for an amount not to exceed $95,000 for the term of the agreement, and authorize the health services director to sign. Supervisor Pyska, did you want to go into this again? Same thing?
Just the same concerns.
Okay. And you have anything to add? Or no? All right. All right. With that, I'll open it up to the public. If there's anyone that would like to comment on this, bring it back to board for action.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to approve the agreement for professional services to provide alternate public health officer services with Amy B. Garland, MD, LFD, LLC, for a term of 12 months for an amount not to exceed $95,000 for the term of the agreement, and authorize the health services director to sign.
And I second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Motion carries 4-1. Director Arden, Lisa Farraco, thank you very much. All right, we'll get to our timed item, which is 9:30, consideration and presentation of Public Defender Office Policy on Sex Offender Office Visits. Public Defender Director Ray Buenaventura.
Mr. Chair, by just way of introduction, this is Jennifer Ramon. She's my second in command at the office.
Nice to meet you. All right, the floor is yours.
Your Honor, I was going to say Your Honor. I'm so used to being
Too much in court, yeah.
There apparently has been some issue regarding the memo I sent to the board and the actual policy I outlined. I will just say it. I apologize for that. What happened was, when I got the request to write a memo on my presentation, my understanding was that I was supposed to just essentially do a summary of our policy, and that my actual policy would be attached. I had previously sent the policy, which outlines in specific detail what our requirements are and how our procedures are to interview clients that fit within this category. So because of that, and because I join in the need to make sure that the public is fully aware and there is no conflict, and that the public has the full information, if the board wants to continue this item to another date and certain, we would happy to present. We are ready to present now, but by way of just full transparency, we have no objection if the board and the rest of the board members want to continue to another day.
All right, thank you for that. Well, we are quasi-judicial, if that means anything, right?
Yes.
Supervisor Sabatier.
If we are to move forward today, I would suggest that we project the policy on the screen and share it on, I think we're still on Zoom. Yeah, on Zoom. So that we can see what it is, specifically what is in the policy, rather than a summary of the policy. That would be my suggestion.
Vice Chair?
I'm okay if we want to do that, but also fine with continuing. It'd be nice to see it and have a little bit of time to digest it
I would
before the
prefer,
presentation. So I'd lean towards continuing, but
It's okay.
I prefer to continue it and have the chance to look it over.
Understood.
Thank you.
Supervisor Mike, you good?
For continuing.
I'm good either way, but I'll open it up for the public. Anyone from the public would like to comment on this? Bring it back to the board. And so consensus, or do we need a vote, or Lloyd?
Can be done, Mr. Chair, by consensus.
Okay, I think we have a consensus, so looks like we'll be continuing this to a later date to be determined.
We can do that and work with Ray to get a date and time certain in the future, given his court
Yes.
appearance requirements.
All right.
Thank you.
Well,
You'll
with-
attach that and send it to us?
Yeah, as soon as he just needs to provide it to us.
Thank
All
you.
right. With that, it looks like we'll be closing this item and coming back at a later date.
Thank you. My apologies.
No worries. Thank you. Yeah, I opened it. Nobody. We have 9:38, so I'll go to some non-timed items.
Chair, would you like to do 7.2? I do have Lars on his way here. He's just not here yet.
Okay, perfect. Consideration of the agreement between County of Lake and Sierra Pathways, a licensed social worker corporation in the amount of $960,281.57 for fiscal years 25 through 27. Behavioral Health Services Director Elise Jones. You have the floor.
Well, good morning, and thank you. This is the third agreement reflecting 4 awards from the recent request for proposals for the opioid settlement funds. We do not have a program like this presently in Lake County, so this is an intensive day treatment program for youth up to transitional age. Potential clients of this include a lot of young people who are on probation may benefit from this service, other at-risk youth, and of course, in the opioid settlement funds expenditure plan, it's identified as a high priority to serve, to meet this need. It also fulfills a critical gap in our drug Medi-Cal organized delivery system continuum of care. So we don't have this level of care in either our DMC ODS plan or, excuse me, our specialty mental health services plan. And so it's important to note that this is a co-occurring program, so it's for youth with both mental health and substance use disorder needs, and you will see more integration of programming over the course of the next forever, because that's been a huge focus of behavioral health transformation that initiated with CalAIM. So I believe that this project is incredibly well aligned with multiple community needs and requirements, and hopefully it will contribute to the positive trends that we see in opioid overdose and deaths and things like that. Thank you.
Any questions from the board? Supervisor Sabatier?
So again, same thing as the previous times, without the full scope of everything, not going to move forward on this, but I just want to have a or at least a statement to the board and hopefully a conversation. I see no protections. We are giving away money for good reasons. We need some of these things, but there's nothing that protects us from how that is used. The money will be used to renovate the buildings. The previous item that we did last week, they're going to buy property and build a building based on the money they get not only from us, but also from the B-CHIP. And there's nothing that says they can walk away and sell the property and make money off it. There's nothing that said, like, maybe for the B-CHIP one, because there's connections here, there's nothing connected that protects us from anything changing after the fact. There's no clawback. There's no, you will serve the community for 5 years. I see nothing to ensure that the money we're giving to them, which I see almost like a donation of sorts, because it's not an exact, I don't see this as a service versus getting a corporation or private business started up and running. I anticipate in the future, if it breaches the $100,000, we'll see a service contract of sorts. But I see nothing that protects us from the money that we collected through the opioid settlement fund that ensures that there's longevity and that they don't just turn around and make money off the money we give them. And it's the second time I've seen that for this type of contract. And I'm just very concerned in the way that we are providing these funds.
Any other question? Did you want to?
I have one point of clarification. Yes, this will be a service contract for Medi-Cal reimbursable specialty mental health and potentially DMC ODS services. So that's how you sustain it in perpetuity, is through Medicaid funding. And despite everything, the state is still very much pushing projects that draw down as much federal financial Medicaid participation as possible. Yes, that's the sustainability plan.
Supervisor Owen, did you have something?
That should have maybe been mentioned in this presentation earlier on so that we knew that. But the tracking of it too is an issue, knowing where it's going and how it's being used and what the results, ultimately what the results are going to be with it. I was pretty impressed with what has happened with the opioids, the drop in opioid deaths, but I too have an issue with not the lack of tracking.
Bless you. Sorry, I heard a sneeze.
Sorry.
Right. Anything else to add? Supervisor Sabatier?
If I may, and I don't mean to argue or push back. There are some reporting requirements. There are some specifics in there for tracking certain things, financial reports. So some of those things are in there. I feel there's still a piece that's missing. I just wanted to at least make sure that you were aware that there are some tracking of and reporting that is required. And I don't see that as often in that level of detail, so I do appreciate that being there. I still have enough concerns that today I can't support it, but I do appreciate the changes that have occurred in order to ensure that we do get those future reports. Just wanted to acknowledge that.
Anything else over here? If not, I'll open it up to the public. Anyone from the public have a comment on this? No hands in Zoom. I'll bring it back to the board for action.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the agreement between the County of Lake and Sierra Pathways, a licensed social worker corporation, in the amount of $960,281.57 for fiscal year 25 through 27, and authorize the chair to sign.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
I have a motion carries 3-2. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elise.
All right. We still have some time, so public service.
5.8 and 5.1.
All right. We go back to 5.8. Approve the award of the bid number 251072 to Couples and Sons Construction Incorporated for the Hammond Park Improvement Project in the amount of $2,952,474 and authorize the chair to sign the agreement. Public Services Director Lars Ewing. Lars, I brought this to pull just to highlight Hammond Park. I just wanted to highlight it because just wanted to also thank Public Services for all the work they've done to help with District 3. I know in the full Lake County, but I'm just saying, with the harbor dredging, with this, with also the signs and all of the other things that Public Services has been doing to help the district, my district. I just wanted to highlight Hammond Park and how awesome this is coming to fruition. So I really don't have questions or nothing. I just wanted to do that. So if you have anything to add.
Great. You're welcome to pull those like that anytime. I appreciate that. It is one to highlight. It is a relatively administrative process here, which is why I was on consent. The project is pretty significant, certainly in terms of county park improvement projects. We're talking about almost $3 million, the majority of which is being funded through a statewide park improvement program grant. It's the same grant program that the city of Lakeport received funding for Cabotin Park. They received it through an earlier round of awards. The county applied for Hammond and a few other parks during that round, and we were not awarded. But on the second round, which was in 2023, I believe, we did receive an award in an odd way. I won't go into the details, but we did receive an award. So excited for the project. A couple of pickleball courts, basketball court, a lot of landscaping improvements, open space, kind of a multi-use field area, improvements to the dog parks, parking lot improvements. There's quite a lot there. So to highlight a little bit of the additional funding, I did mention this when it went out to, at preliminary budget hearings. Your board did approve $300,000 coming out of Parks Reserve, which are greatly appreciated. That makes up the difference from the grant award to the actual bid, the bid amount. So that, in combination with Quimby Park Improvement Funds, should fully fund the project pending any unforeseen circumstances during construction. So looking forward to it. It'll be about a year and a half. It's a 150 working day project. So looking forward to breaking ground for sure.
I just wanted to also add that I know this will be something the LCRA, right? Lake County Recreation Authority. I know this will be in there, and I know I was pretty critical at one time about parks not being used in my district, but I know for a fact this one is used quite frequently. There's softball. I see kids there playing, and also the dog park is used a lot. So this is going to be great for Hammond Avenue and Nice. And if there's anything else to add, anyone want to add anything?
Plans are amazing.
All right.
Great.
I'll open it up for public comment. All right. Not hearing any. We'll bring it back to the board for action. Go ahead, Luis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So just to confirm with staff, with Director Ewing, as far as the recommended action that's stated in the board memo, that to clarify that the correct amount, I believe, would be $2,925,474. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, I appreciate that, Lloyd. Yeah, that is a transposed number. So good catch.
Yeah. And that would be part of the motion, should your board consider.
Just saved $30,000.
The good thing we pulled it, right? All right. So we'll need an amended motion. And
Mr. Chair, since you seem to be in approval of this, if you don't mind, I'll make the motion.
Please, yeah.
Move to award the bid number 251072 to Couples and Sons Construction, Inc. for the Hammond Park Improvement Project in the amount of $2,925,474 and authorize the chair to sign the agreement.
Second.
so I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. All right, I'll move on to 5.11. Approve supplemental services agreement number 8 between the County of Lake and SHN Consulting Engineers and Geologists Incorporated for the implementation of the corrective action plan for cleanup and abatement order R5-2015-0713 in the amount of $291,870 and authorize the chair to sign. Director Ewing.
Sure. I think CAO Parker has some info on this, but I can certainly address it.
I do. Thank you. Johanna, could you display the agreement, please? The reason that we pulled this item was because at the time of posting, the agreement was updated after the fact, so it was not available until we did reposting on Monday, so it didn't meet the 72 hours notice to the public, so we're doing it right now. Merely an administrative function.
Yeah, the only change is signatures on the agreement. The original agreement that was, the agreement in the posted agenda did not have either both signatures or the signature of the contractor, one or the other. So the revised agreement includes both.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Supervisor Sabatier?
Yeah, thank you for pulling this for a different reason. Just a random question. The new wells and everything that's going to be put in, those are all new? They're not continuing and redoing the ones that are already there?
No, we have, the landfill has, 4 or 5 dozen wells for various reasons. And these are 5 new wells entirely.
Thank you.
Anything else from the board? Not hearing anything, we'll bring it to the public. So if there's any comments, not seeing or hearing any, nothing on Zoom? All right, I'll bring it back to the board for action.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve Supplemental Services Agreement Number 8 between the County of Lake and SHN Consulting Engineers and Geologists, Inc. for the implementation of the Corrective Action Plan for Cleanup and Abatement Order R5-2015-0713 in the amount of $291,870 and authorize the chair to sign.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lars. Next, we'll move 515. Yes, we'll move on to item 515, which is a special districts item. It's numbered at 25801, and that's all I know about it, so I'll give the floor to CAO Parker.
Thank you, Chair. On behalf of Director Bore, she has asked that this item be moved to the 19th.
Okay.
All right. Any questions for, okay, I'll open it up for public comment. There's no hands in Zoom. All right, I'll bring it back to the board, and we will go ahead and just move this to next week, postpone it to next week. Those are all of our consent agenda items. It looks like we have some time, so we'll go ahead and take a quick break and come back at 10.
Chair?
Yes.
I'm sorry, you may want to give yourselves a 10-minute break. We have a lot of 4-H young adults in the lobby.
So we will go ahead and do a 10-minute break then, and we'll come back about 10:05. There we go. All right, welcome back from the break. We are now at our 6.6, 10:15 item. I can say that because we're on time for it, for once. Consideration and presentation by UC Cooperative Extension and Lake County 4-H youth members, Supervisor Pyska and the UC Extension.
Sam, are you able to see the presentation here or should we bring it up? Come on up, girls. Come on up,
I don't know if he did. She was looking at him though, I think. They made eye contact.
So 4-H, a lot of people don't realize, is a program through the UCCE Cooperative Extension, and Jean manages the program. Oh. And we had these girls are going to share the presentations that they did recently in Tehama County. And we've got some certificates and some awards. But I'm going to pass this over to Jean to kind of talk about what you all been working on as you're also getting ready for the fair.
Thank you. I want to look at you. Okay.
Hello, my name is Jean Goulart, and I'm the Lake County 4-H Community Education Specialist, supporting and overseeing all 4-H clubs in Lake County. Thank you for the opportunity to celebrate our amazing youth who are excelling through Lake County 4-H. I look forward to sharing other youth with you throughout the year. This year, we are proud to highlight 4 outstanding members who have shown exceptional dedication and achievement. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Phoenix Rain. This is my 8th year in Anderson Marsh 4-H, and I'm going to be the club's president. I'm also the teen leader for 3 projects, which include Civic and Leadership, the county-wide robotics project, and also the county-wide archery project. And for this year of fair, I'm not only doing 2 lambs, but also 49 still entries. And if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
I'm Shayla McGrath. This is my first year in 4-H, and I'm going to be the secretary for my club. And I'm a team leader in civic and leadership, and I do goats and poultry. Hi, my name is Saphira Edwards. This is my 2nd year in Anderson Marsh 4-H. I'm 17 years old, and I raise animals for food.
I'm Emmy. This is my 8th year in 4-H. I do lambs, poultry, and archery. This year I'm taking 2 lambs to fair and 4 show chickens, I believe. 4 or 3. Oh, and I'm doing horses.
Thank you. So Phoenix Rain, Saphira Edwards, and Emmy Hayes competed in Lake County Presentation Day. From there, they moved on to regional, which was held in Tehama County. And then from there, they were able to move on to state 4-H presentation days at UC Davis, earning top honors. Phoenix Rain as a senior, received gold for how to paint a mural. Saphira Edwards, senior, received blue for how to make yeast bread. And Emmy Hayes, an intermediate, received gold for wreaths across America. These young leaders didn't stop at competition. They went on to share their presentations to 5 other community events or clubs in order to earn the coveted 4-H Presentation Day pin for giving at least 5 presentations to non-4-H organizations. And today, you will have the chance to hear Emmy Hayes present her presentation, her award-winning presentation, talk on wreaths across America.
Right, there's one. Ready? Did you know 131 veterans pass away each day and 22 of that 131 commit suicide from the past trauma of war? Hi, my name is Emmy Hayes, and I've been in Anderson Marsh 4-H for 8 years now and participated in Reach Across America for 7 years. Today I'm going to be talking about the 3 steps: remember, honor, and teach. Remember is where we remember the soldiers that have fallen or have fallen for us. Honor is where we honor the soldiers by laying a wreath on their grave, and if we don't have a capability for wreaths, we will lay a flag or a penny. Here beside me is a replica of all the cemeteries that participate in the Wreaths Across America, and Harrington, Maine is one family that hand makes all the wreaths and trucks and planes them out across the United States. If you look at my other board, you'll see pictures of me participating in the Wreaths Across America for the past 7 years. There's a couple pictures up there with my cousins, my great-grandpa, and my horses. Teach is where we teach to the future generation the importance of freedom. Are there any questions?
questions from the board? All right.
Thank you. Are there any veterans in the room?
All right. Thank you.
We are giving you cards about the Wreaths Across America and to honor your service.
Thank you for that. Supervisor Sabatier?
I do have a question for you, if you don't mind. Thank you for the presentation. Awesome. Love it. What got you inspired to take on this topic and get you started on it in the first place?
My great-grandpa was in the service, and I would like to serve one day, and I really enjoy cleaning off graves, laying wreaths, and participating in the ceremony every year.
That's perfect. I'm sure you've gotten some pretty amazing stories from him as well.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Is that all?
What branch do you plan on joining?
I want to do the Air Force or the Army.
Just so you know, us Army soldiers, we always want our kids or younger kids to join the Air Force for some reason. It's just one of our things. It's like graduating for us. Like, no, we want to send them there, you know? So anyhow, just thought I'd add that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any comments? Or are we continuing forward? Sorry.
Thank you, Emmy. So also at the state field day in UC Davis, Phoenix Rain received gold for a state robotics event, and she's also the Lake County-wide robotic project leader with Reynolds Inc.'s engineer that has trained to be a 4-H volunteer.
Nice.
So in addition to public speaking, these youth also shine in shooting sports. At the state archery postal shoot, using recurve bows with no sights, Phoenix Rain earned gold with 175 points. Shayla McGrath earned bronze. Emmy Hayes earned silver. So a little explanation about a postal shoot. The youth apply. The state sends us targets with their names on it. We measure different distances, 10, 20, 50. And they have 6 arrows for each distance if that's what they signed up for. So they don't always have to do all 3. They can choose. And then we mail the targets back to the state, and they're judged and pointed are added, and that's how we do a postal shoot. Okay. So I'd like to introduce, just to stand up, please, Karen Hayes, our civic and leadership. Sorry, thank you. See, it happens no matter what age you're at. When you practice public speaking, it happens. Okay. She's our leader for that. She's been in 4-H in our county for 22 years. And her assistant or vice leader is Sakura Rain. Sakura. Thank you very much. I just wanted to recognize you for the civic and leadership and for the community. Thank you. Yes. They weren't expecting that. It's my little ad lib, so sometimes those don't go smoothly. So, these youth are also active in our citizen and leadership group for teens working toward attending state and national leadership conferences, including the Ignite conference in Washington, D.C. in March of 2026. The cost for each participant is about $14,000 plus airfare. And since spring, they've been fundraising their little hearts out trying to raise this amount of money. So fundraising is already underway and will continue until we've reached our goal. And if you would like to help these dedicated teens reach their goal, please contact the Lake County 4-H office. We are so proud of these incredible youth, their skills, their commitment, and their leadership. They truly represent the heart of 4-H here in Lake County. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Jean, for helping organize this presentation so that we can highlight this work. And I know 3 of the girls, you've been here before and helped us open meetings and helped us with the pledge. So I really want to make sure that you feel comfortable here. This is your government. This is your building too. And as your role as leaders, I hope that you continue to grow and stepping up to all kinds of opportunities to lead in this county or whatever community you end up in. Because a community is only as strong as the people that volunteer and step up. So I know you're on the right path. You're doing a lot of great things. And we've got some awards and pins for you. So let's Emmy Hayes, this is your silver for recognition of participation for the 4th Annual California 4-H Archery Shooting Sports Tournament. Congratulations. And Phoenix Rain, this is your recognition of participation for the 4th Annual California 4-H Archery Shooting Sports Tournament. Gold. Congratulations. And Shayla McGrath, recognition of participation. Nope.
All right.
Does that work? Okay.
There you go.
Great. Recognition of participation, recurve with Outsight Senior Division for the 4th Annual California State 4-H Archery Shooting Tournament. This is the bronze. Congratulations. And for your presentations, Phoenix Rain State Field Day. This certificate recognizes participation for the Lake County in robotics contest at the 2025 State Field Day. Congratulations. Cool. Did we lose the mic again? Sorry, Sam. Oh, it's back. I fixed it. Okay. Safira Edwards. University of California Agriculture Natural Resources 4-H Youth Development Program State Field Day. This certificate recognizes the participation of Lake County in state presentations at the 2025 State Field Day demonstration and illustrated talk category. And this is a gold award. Congratulations. Phoenix Rain, University of California Natural Resources 4-H Development Program State Field Day. This certificate recognizes the participation of Lake County in state presentations at the 2025 State Field Day demonstration illustrated talk category. Another gold. Congratulations. And finally, we have Emmy Hayes. University of California Agriculture and Natural Resources 4-H Youth Development Program State Field Day. This certificate recognizes the participation of Lake County in the state presentations of 2025 State Field Day demonstration and illustrated talk category. And this is also a gold. Congratulations. right, these are our future leaders. Give them another round of applause.
All right, Supervisor Owen.
Okay. You know, while we were going through that, I just wanted to say how impressed I was. And for those of you that are familiar with 4-H, you know just what great life skills it gives to our youth. And it takes a lot of leadership from the parents and volunteer to make this work. So the fact that you guys have done so well and went so far, of course, goes back to our leaders. So we need to say thank you to them, to our volunteers, the adult leaders that have stepped up. That's amazing. I think 4-H started about 1902 in Iowa as like tomato club and a corn club. But it's mostly known for its agriculture. But what a lot of people are not aware is the number of programs that 4-H actually offers. There's a vast number of programs. I do know that I have recommended it to a lot of people, especially in the homeschool area, to use that as part of their curriculum. Your science, they offer a lot of science classes, the robotics, everything from agriculture to arts. So who doesn't like doing photography? You know, and that's one of their classes that they do offer with our 4-H programs, and it kind of levels up. And so you've got your phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, so they can become pretty proficient at it. And I just can't say enough for the program. And you are our future leaders, and it really takes adult dedication to make this work, and not just from leaders, but from the parents and them investing in your future. So kudos and thank you so much.
Go ahead, Supervisor Sabatier.
I'll go ahead and say something. I take part in a lot of meetings where we talk about what's going on in our community, and too often I hear things that are unfortunately negative about youth, and I don't agree with it. I think we're always looking for somebody to blame, and we actually should be looking in the mirror. You are a prime example of what our youth is doing, and that we have a bright future ahead of us. Thank you for being such a good example. Thank you.
Vice Chair.
Yes, thank you for the presentation, first of all, and to the 4-H girls, thank you for your leadership in the community and all the great things that you're doing and setting an example for others.
All right. Go ahead. You want to? Sorry. And I just want to add, just appreciate I appreciate this. I really do. There is a lot of folks I know in Lower Lake. I was part of the Wreaths Across America. That it was probably my first term, 2019, and just to see all the 4-H kids out there just doing that, it's so important, because there's times that some of these, there's no more family here. You know, they've either moved away or the generations have just come to a point where there's no one there to do it. So it's just seeing all the kids be a part of it, the families volunteer, the people, community volunteer, so important, especially with flags and whatnot. I know that you all do that. There's so much that you all do, even when we do the packing parties. I've seen 4-H, kids there too. And so it gives you that insight as when you get older, it gives us promise to know that you'll be doing that you'll be carrying all these things forward. So just, again, thank you for everything you're doing. Glad that you're in the program. Glad you all have ideas for your future. That's awesome, Air Force. So anyhow, thank you again. All right. Oh, yeah. She's going to share how to be a part of it.
So there are online stuff you could go participate with. We do fundraisers every now and again to sell wreaths and raise money for it. You could go on December 13th to the ceremony in Lower Lake Cemetery. It's a ceremony at 9 o'clock. It's really fun. I think you would It's all of the cemeteries across the United States at 9 o'clock.
Nice. Thank you for that. There any
Thank you,
public
Emmy.
comment? Anybody would like to come up and speak about this presentation? All right. Any on Zoom? All right. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. Want me to give one to? Thank you.
Hold your awards and your pins up.
By your child? Oh, would you come up to their shoulders? I was making sure.
Ellie, move up.
I'm gonna get Emmy. I used to give her dad driving lessons.
Make sure I have everything.
We're gonna make you in there.
There. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for coming in. See you at the fair.
We could take a couple minutes, about 5 minutes. We'll go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break so everyone can visit, and we'll come back at 10:45. And then we'll go. All right, just real quick, we're going to open back up and go into closed session briefly. We have 8.2, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation pursuant to Government Code 54956.9 D1, FERC proceeding number P77, Potter Valley Hydroelectric Project, and 8.3, public employee evaluations title, interim public works director, public services director. With that, we'll go into closed session and we'll come out about 11:30-ish. All right, welcome back, and we're coming back out of closed session. Was there any action to be taken out of closed session?
There is no action to report from closed session.
All right.
And
Lloyd?
Mr. Chair, if I may, just for clarification, that would be for closed session items 8.2 and 8.3.
Right, 8.2 and 8.3. We still have one more at 3 p.m. at 8.1. We are going to take a lunch break, 1:20. We'll be a little behind on the next item, but yeah, we'll come back at 1:20. All right, welcome back from our lunch break. We'll go on to our next item, 6.7, consideration of presentation by Lime Foundation of the Next Gen Trades Academy, and this is sponsored by Supervisor Pyska and Vice Chair Rasmussen.
Well, I am absolutely delighted to have my longtime friend here with us to talk about her work, not just in her field, which is in roofing, but also the development of Lime Foundation and the work that she's been doing to support people getting into the trade. So I'm going to go ahead and read your bio. Letitia Hankey, it is Hankey though, right? Because I did not grow up with you having the name. Okay, Letitia Hankey, CEO, ARS Roofing and Gutter founder of the Lime Foundation. Raised in Lake County, Letitia Hankey was recognized from a young age for her musical talents. She played the trumpet, and we had band together, and pursued that passion at Sonoma State University, where she studied performing arts and recording arts. An unexpected opportunity led Letitia into the roofing industry, where she managed a prominent North Bay roofing company for 8 years prior to founding her own business, ARS Roofing and Gutters, in 2008. Letitia is now celebrating 29 years in the industry and leading a team of 24 full-time employees who serve communities across the North Bay. Letitia's entrepreneurial success is matched by her commitment to service. In 2015, she founded the Lime Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to uplifting youth, seniors, and underserved communities. Through its 3 core programs, the Lime Foundation provides access to health and wellness services, promotes music and the arts, and offers vocational training in construction, trades, empowering at-risk youth with skills that lead to lasting careers. Letitia's work has earned widespread recognition, including a Walmart Community Playmaker Award presented by the Golden State Warriors. Featured guest appearances on 2 Emmy Award-winning shows, The Kelly Clarkson Show and Mike Rouse returning the favor, and she was also named Sonoma County Woman of the Year by Congressman Mike Thompson in 2021. Letitia brings to Lake County a legacy of perseverance, community leadership, and a proven commitment to creating opportunities for others to thrive.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming here today.
Thank you all for having me here today. I'm really excited to just tell you a little bit about the program. So I thought maybe I would share my screen and just kind of go through a little bit of history of what the program is all about. And then if you have any questions, I'm here to answer questions, and I can kind of let you know as well how you guys can help us have a very successful program. So let's see if I can share this.
Did Brad have anything to add? Or Vice Chair? No?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Jessica covered that very well.
Hmm?
I'm sorry,
Let's see.
Supervisor Pyska.
No, sorry.
That work? Oops, Supervisor Pyska. Okay, I won't call you Jessica today. First of all, the Lime Foundation is a nonprofit 501c3 that I started back in 2015. It all kind of got started because I went to college, graduated from Middletown High School, and I was 17, went off to college because my parents told me to go to college. I did not know what I wanted to do in college. I just went. I'm a musician, so I'm like, well, I'll just go to school to be a rock star and just do music for 3 years. But I was broke all through my college career. And then in my junior year, I got a receptionist position with a roofing company. I started just answering phones and filing. But by the time I got to my senior year, I became the manager of that company after about a year. And I got a pretty big raise and ended up dropping out of college in my senior year. So I spent another few years running the company, and my boss came to me and said, hey, I want to retire out of this industry. Will you buy my company? I'm like, I'm not a roofer. He said, are you willing to learn? I'm like, sure. When you're in your 20s, you're like, sure, why not, right? So I said, sure, why not? Spent another few years learning how to roof. And then when he retired, I bought the assets of his company and started my own company in 2004 and got my contractor's license. So now I'm the CEO of my own company for the last 21 years. And quickly, I started working with a lot of contractors, and we'd have meetings all the time, and we would talk about the same thing over and over again, how we couldn't find young people that wanted to go into the trades, or we couldn't get them to stay, working. And I said, well, I think it's mainly because they don't really know about the opportunity. I didn't know about it. And I said, if I started a program where I would train young people and teach them more about it, would you guys be willing to mentor them and hire them? And they all said yes. And that's how this all got started. So we service our at-risk youth. These are youth that have, they're foster youth. They've been in and out of juvenile hall, or some of them just maybe have absentee parents. I mean, the list kind of goes on when you talk about at-risk. And so that's who we've been servicing since we started the program. And the program is called the Next Gen Trades Academy. And so I'm just going to go through really quickly kind of what the program is all about. Right now is a 3-week course. When we first started, it was 16 weeks. And then we would do surveys with the students, and they're like, it's a little too long. So then we got it down to 10 weeks. And then COVID hit. And when COVID hit, we had to turn the program into like a Zoom platform. And so we shortened it a little bit more. And we realized that doing it by Zoom or in person still netted the same results. the graduates got hired, whether it was on Zoom or in person. So now it's a 3-week hybrid program. So we do some of the classes online and some of them in person. We've been doing it mainly in Sonoma County, but we expanded about a year and a half ago to Marin County, to Marin City, and Napa counties as well. And then recently we just expanded to Mendocino County. And now I'm here to expand to Lake County, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a moment. The training is just simple. We introduce them to different trades. We have up to 27 different trades that we introduce them to, whether it's roofing. I try to get them to be roofers. They never want to be roofers. Solar contractors, they can be solar, electrical, plumbing, up to 27 different trades, and we do some additional training as well with them, and we simply tell them about how they can go into these trades and see what they're interested in, and then we introduce them to the employers, and then the employers hire them. That's really the simple part of it. The program is free to the students, so they do not have to pay for that program. It's all covered under grants and other funding that we get, and we normally serve ages 16 to 24. But some of the private classes that we've done goes all the way up to age 30. But right now, for this grant purposes, it's going to be the ages 16 to 24. We've been recruiting from different high schools. Right now, we're working with about 23 different high schools between Sonoma and Marin and such. We have 23 nonprofits, 11 community organizations, and then 2 probation departments. We have not contacted the probation department up here yet, so we're still in that process right now. And like I said, we're up to 27 different trades that we're introducing to the youth. So that's the basic part of the program. In addition to it being hybrid or in person, we have workshops as well that we do in the class. First of all, we teach about stress management. Now, I know as like adults, I need it. I'm 49, I still need stress management. But we teach them how to deal with stress management, meaning, how to be able to deal with the kind of stresses that we deal with every day without drugs and alcohol, or just showing them different ways that they can manage that. We bring in specialists to do that. We also do an interview and public speaking course, so that way when they're going to those interviews, they'll nail that interview. We teach them how to walk in properly without flip-flops and cutoffs and stuff. We do a resume and cover letter as well with them, so that way they can have, really good resumes and cover letters. Financial literacy is probably one of the most important parts that we do, and we bring in local banks and branches to actually teach them, so we like to work with the community. Real estate, we also have taught several of our youth how to be able to buy homes or property, and we've had several be able to buy condos or homes with family members and such, and now they're very much thriving, and we learned that they just simply didn't know the steps, so we're teaching them the steps. And then we also teach them about business entrepreneurship, so that way we can help them actually start businesses. We do have several of our graduates that are now licensed contractors, and they hire from the program, so we've already gone full circle over the last 10 years. And then we do health and nutrition, because when they would come into our class, they would have Red Bulls and Doritos in their hands for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So in health and nutrition, we're just teaching them how they can, have better energy and better overall health by bringing in also locals that will teach that class. So that's all a part of the program. As far as statistics go, this is as of our 2024 statistics. I can only see a portion of it, but we've had, come on, go up this way. There we go. So as of last year, just 2024 only, we serviced 110 students. We're on track for 2025 to actually service 130 by the end of this year for this year alone. Last year, again, just with these stats, 87 of those 110 graduated from the program, and 66% of the 87 are all hired right now. We tend to stay around that 66 to 74%. That's where we've hovered ever since we started the program. And then the other students that didn't get hired, they're either still in the process, they weren't quite ready, so we're still giving them training, or they've gone off to college. Or some of them have just kind of scattered. And then lastly, I have an emphasis on getting more females into our construction industry, because the numbers are still very low. And as of 2024, we were at 13% of our students they identify as female. And then 92% of our students serve our low to moderate income. So that kind of gives you a little bit of demographic of who we're servicing. Last couple things. What did the graduates get when they graduate besides a job? They do earn a stipend up to $550, either in gift cards or as an actual stipend. They get gear. All their tools are all included in the grant. So when they graduate from the program, they get all the basic tools that they're needing so they don't have to pay for any of that. They earn a safety OSHA. They have to actually pass their 10-hour safety OSHA to even pass the class. They get uniforms and a plaque, and then of course their job placement. And a lot of negotiations that we do with the contractors is that they start at least $20 an hour, all the way up to $25. In Sonoma County and Marin County, the rate's been a little higher, $23 to $25 starting. But up here, we're negotiating for somewhere between $20 to $25 for them to start with no experience. We've done job placement in all of these counties so far, looking to add Lake County on there by next year. So Sonoma County, Marin, Napa, Solano, and the Bay Area, we've been able to get students hired, and about 5 or 6 out of state as well. This is our recent graduation class that we just had a graduation about 3 weeks ago. And this, I just wanted to include a photo because I love it. These are our recent graduates. We do a graduation once a year where all the graduates come together for that year. And this is our recent class that we just had a few weeks ago. Last couple things here, affordable housing. We do have a division of our nonprofit where we are addressing the affordable housing issue over in Sonoma County. We've partnered with a nonprofit called Homes for the Homeless with these pods that we have. They're pretty cool. They're over in Sonoma County right now, and we're working on different areas. Right now, we've been placing them in Texas, but we're working on being able to place them here in California. And then eventually, we're going to build a warehouse so that way we can manufacture them here with our graduates. And we're also building these are ADUs that were built in Sonoma County. So far, there's been 8 of them built. They were approved by the County of Sonoma. So we are looking to create an opportunity as well for youth. If there's any kind of affordable housing being built up here, we're hoping to be able to get our graduates involved in that so that way we can make sure that they have continuous work here in Lake County. And then the last slide here, I just wanted to let you guys know that the cost of this program per student is $4,230. That's, all the cost for instructors and career navigators and everything that I mentioned earlier. But we did secure a $1.186 million grant for that called CalCRG GoBiz. And the grant is geared around the fight against drugs. And so they want to help, this program is going to help our youth early on to get them careers and opportunities so that way we can steer them in a positive direction. And I'm really proud to be coming back home, here to Lake County to be able to do that after doing the program in other areas. We're right now going to be able to do 9 classes over the next 3 years. And our first class will be with the Hants Community Center, the community school, right here in Lake Forest. And that starts in October. So we've secured that with them already. So that will be our first class. And then our second class will be with NCO in Clear Lake. So that way we can service Clear Lake and Lower Lake students. And then my biggest hope is to be in Middletown. I'm still in negotiations right now, but that's my hope, is to bring it back to my old high school and have the program there by late spring. And then we're just going to continue that cycle. So that way we're servicing students here in this area, then over there in Clear Lake area, and then in Middletown for those 9 classes. And then hope that we're able to continue with the grant and continue with the program. We've partnered with NCO, so that way we're working together. So basically our program is, because they've had a great successful program called Build. So we're going to be kind of the pre-program, phase 1, I would call it. We're phase 1, where we're going to introduce the youth to the program. And then out of our program, we're going to pick like the top 6 or 8 to move on to NCO's program, which is a more extensive program. So we found a way to be able to partner together and work together to just make it more successful for the youth. And we're going to be bringing in the dollars to use as much as we can here in Lake County. So all the tools that we buy, we're going to buy from here. All the food that we use for the students, we're going to buy it all from here. So we could just bring all that money here. So that's about it. So if you guys have any questions, I have my little ask me questions slide. So thank you.
Will for the 9 classes in Lake County, will that take the whole 1.8 million or?
Yeah. We did the budget based on it, so it should use up the whole thing pretty much. We're going to make sure it does.
Okay.
We're putting all that money back in here, so we're going to make sure it does.
Thank you.
And that's for what time frame?
It starts from June 1st, this past June 1st, until like 2028. Is my math? Yes. So yeah, it's like 1 class this year. We're going to do 3 classes next year, another 3 the following year, and then 2 the following year. So that's how we
really
have it set up.
exciting. You know that you have 2 graduates from Middletown High School sitting up here, right?
Yes. And up here too? Who else? Oh, you are? I didn't know that. Oh, so you're just excited to get back to Middletown. Yes, I'm very excited to get back to Middletown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. You guys have any other questions?
Supervisor
I don't have any questions. I think the program is sounds familiar. Appreciate you coming to Lake County to offer such a program. I know that we have some of those programs, but we could use a whole lot more, and everybody needs an opportunity, and we don't have enough space in the programs we have to have as many students that want to be involved. Even the NCO program, I'm sure you know, since you've had conversations with them, they start out with like 60 or 70 applications and they end up with 6. That is a lot of people left behind that have an opportunity to do something, and it looks like you're coming here to offer those positions, offer those candidates positions, or other candidates other positions. So I think it's great. The more we offer, the better off we are. Yes. So thank you very much. Exciting.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? I'll open it up for public comment. Anyone from the chambers? Anyone on Zoom? All right. Go ahead.
I'll just make one more comment. I'm a very big fan of our community colleges. I hope that you'll build a relationship with them. I know that Mendocino works with NCO with the construction program. There's other trades that are also at the other colleges. So I hope you'll build those relationships, because I think it's a warm handoff from what you will be doing as well. So
It's the other reason why I'm here today, because we just need help with those connections. We want to build those. That's the first thing I did when I came up here. NCO was the very first phone call that I made, and that was almost a year ago when we first started talking about the program, because I want to as well build those relationships and collaborate and work together. So I just need the connections. I don't know all the programs that are up here yet. I'm still in that process. So just having that introduction will help us make sure that we're doing that. So if you want to do that for me, I appreciate it.
Happy to connect.
Yeah, I'll touch base with them. We have plenty of time to make sure that we're doing that. And I just want to make sure there's a pathway for them. If they go through our program and they don't get into NCO or they don't get a job right away, I want to be able to build other pathways for them. So some of the students that we have now, maybe they go and work, they're at Target for a little while to build up their resume. We just want them to be able to work somewhere and have something positive and know that later on they can move on to that next level. So I just need as many connections as possible. So
if you bring a target with you, I think we can have a much better conversation.
I can work on that, Thank you guys again so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Did you want to add anything else?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm just so excited. I've been so proud of my friend for decades. And I know that this is just a really big moment for you to bring this back home. And give back to this community. So it's amazing. We do have other programs, but we know the need is really great here, and it just really makes me happy that you remember and recognize how great the need is here.
If those other programs, if you guys want to, again, connect me with them, I love finding ways to collaborate together, because sometimes we find that there's pieces that, with NCO, we've got the grant funds to buy the tools. So now NCO doesn't have to use their funds to buy tools because our grant covers that. So we want to be able to see how we can collaborate. They can keep that money back into their program and be able to use it for other services. So that's what I want, is more connections. So if you want to email me those,
Well, I think you've already met with NCO. That's what I was talking
I
about.
did with NCO, but if there's other programs, let me know who those people are, and I'll definitely contact them. Thank you guys very much.
All right. Thank you for the presentation.
I'll see you
We'll
soon.
go ahead and close this item.
Would you be able to leave a card?
Yeah, I have my cards here.
Thank you.
I'll give you some. Thank you.
It's on, isn't it on the?
2 cards?
I'll leave a few.
Yeah. I thought it was on the presentation. No.
Yeah, my contact info.
Yeah,
but it's on the presentation.
Oh yeah, it's on the presentation. I got out of there.
All right, we'll go ahead and you said we'll take a.
Tiny.
All right, we'll take a 5-minute break.
It doesn't have to be 5.
2. All right, welcome back from the break. We'll move on to our 6.8. Consideration of direction to staff to take steps necessary to proceed with the notice of intent to file an application with Lake Local Agency Formation Commission, LAFCO, to initiate dissolution proceedings for Scotts Valley Water Conservation District. Vice Chair Rasmussen, this is sponsored by you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Supervisors. I want to start with a brief background on the Scotts Valley Water Conservation District. This was a district that was created in 1972 when property owners and/or voters from approximately 100 parcels of land within the Scotts Valley area went and got a petition from the required amount of their property owners to bring that forward to the Board of Supervisors to create the Scotts Valley Water Conservation District. And again, that was for about 100 parcels, not the entire Scotts Valley, just 100 parcels within it, because at the time people could opt out. They didn't have to be involved if they didn't want to. And so it came to the Board of Supervisors, which accepted the petition and passed a resolution calling for a special election also in 1972 to answer the question as to whether or not that district should be formed. And if it was to be formed, to also then elect its first 3 directors. There's 3 board members and/or directors for that district. So that question passed, the district was formed, and the first 3 directors were elected. The reasons for the original petition and why that district was created included 6 reasons. One of those, number 1, was, and not in any order of importance, but one was to allow them to conserve and enhance water supply and riparian rights. Another one was to monitor projects that were proposed and or approved at the time, including the Scotts Creek Dam and flash dams that were going to be installed by the city of Lakeport in that area. None of those projects ever happened due to a lawsuit on the dam, and it got ordered to be unapproved by the State Water Board after this lawsuit in Lake County Superior Court, and it never came back. Number 3 was to give the district the ability to provide a legal entity for government agencies to consult with regarding solutions for mutual water and flood control concerns in that area. Another one was basically to monitor and, if necessary, take legal action against the city of Lakeport for their drawing of water out of the Scotts Valley aquifer, which they've done for long before this. And then number 5 was to, again, enable the district to act in concert to solve problems of available water and distributions and or matters of flood control, including increasing water or decreasing water, increasing water in the summer when necessary for farming, and worrying about reducing flood flows in the wintertime. So basically in the last, I would probably say 20 years, really what that district had focused on was the part about monitoring the city of Lakeport. That's mainly what they've been doing. Some years ago, after this district was created, the city of Lakeport got an updated water agreement with Yolo County Flood Control that allows them to draw by right without fee 750 acre feet per year. They can go over it for another, I believe, 2,000 acre feet that they would have to start paying for per acre foot if that happened. In the last 15 years, the city of Lakeport's only gone over the 750 acre feet by right by a very small amount, and that was in 2013. So generally, they're always under the 750 acre feet for the draw. So like I said, mostly that district's been focusing on that part of it. They don't have any facilities. They don't provide any other services. They don't have any online materials. In fact, you can't find anything about this district if you were to go searching on the internet for it. when they were created, they did have an initial approval by the LAFCO for the creation, but they should have had some other municipal service review over the past 53 years. That hasn't been done. In fact, when I talked to LAFCO, they didn't even know this district existed, nor did most people in the county of Lake or out at the property owners out there. The average person, if you brought this up, wouldn't know what it is. They do hold about $25,000 in our treasury that is believed to have come from tax assessments. The initial petition and the resolution talked about the Board of Supervisors agreeing to loan $815 in startup money to that district to be repaid to the county when sufficient assessments were reached. There is a record that appears to confirm that that $815 was repaid. However, we haven't been collecting any tax assessments for who knows how long, probably decades. There are no records left in existence that even show how that assessment went or who was paying it or anything like that. So it's just, the money's been sitting there for a long time. The only activity with it that ever comes up is the interest it earns and the very small amounts that it has to pay out every 2 years or 4 years when an election comes up. These elected directors that they have to pay to our registrar of voters, which is not a significant amount because most of the time there's not an actual election on the ballot. It is an election. They have to file, but there's never more candidates than spaces, so it doesn't go on the ballot. One of the divisions, it's 3 divisions in that 100 parcels, hasn't been filled for over 10 years, going on 11. The current 2 directors that are in there, one expires in December of this year. She's not rerunning. She has told me twice, or at least once to me in writing, and I have other documents that she is not going to run for reelection, and she supports the dissolution of this district. She believes that it's accomplished its mission and it's no longer needed. The other director I've talked to verbally, and he has indicated that he doesn't oppose LAFCO taking a review of this district to see if it's providing service. I've done a lot of research on this in the past probably 4 months. We have 4 department heads here that I've talked to numerous times about it. The tax collector, the auditor, controller, who have checked for financial records, registrar of voter, who I've talked to about this because she's happened to run these elections. It's supposed to be every 4 years, but it seems to come up every 2 years because of the unfilled vacancy. And then it's also come in front of this board for appointments in the past. So I think it really needs to be reviewed by LAFCO. I don't think it's any longer serving a purpose. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's good governance to keep it going. But the process is that, we can't dissolve it. LAFCO can go through that process. It is very complex. There's conflicting information in the law. When you look at the water code, it indicates that there has to be a petition by voters in a special election. However, that has largely been overridden by the Local Government Reorganization Act of the year 2000, which also allows the government code, one of the sections of the government code, to allow for a local governing agency, including the Board of Supervisors, to petition for this by resolution of application to LAFCO without having to wait for the voters to bring you a petition and request an election to answer the question of dissolution. And I'm just about to wrap it up, but I've talked to Water Resources because a lot of these reasons that this district was created, we have our own flood control district. We have a Water Resources Department that is largely doing a lot of those same things. In fact, we've got projects already in the works out in Scotts Valley that's being managed by our water resources regarding flood control. Not a question to answer today, but if this ultimately gets dissolved, it would come back to this board to wind up the affairs. We'd become the successor agency for the sole purpose of winding up that district. It would be at that time that we would discuss where the money goes, but the law really indicates that upon dissolution for something like this, it would need to be directed to a project that benefited that footprint where this district was created. So there's also a legal question about whether or not any of that money could be used for the county to pay for this process we're going through. I'm not proposing that be answered today. I don't know if it's legal nor if it would be the appropriate thing to do. But as far as our costs to do this, the current estimate from LAFCO is about $2,000 for the county to run through this process. It started out at a $5,000 estimate. If we do approve this and send in a resolution, we have to give LAFCO $2,000 for the application fee. But based on their research and discussions with the state, the total cost is expected to be around $2,000 for the county to ask LAFCO to run through this process. The reason for the reduced amount is because, again, if the Board of Supervisors is the one to request this, there are streamlined processes that LAFCO can go through without doing a full municipal service review. There's a modified way they can do it. If it were to be requested by the board, if it was by the public, it would have to go a different process. So with that, at this point, what's in front of you is a request to consider directing staff to move forward with the public notice process, the 21-day process, which they would start and they would send out the notice. It would come back to our board once that 21 days is up to consider on putting the resolution of application forward to LAFCO. And I can answer questions if the board has any, and likewise, I ask the department heads to be here in case questions came up for your board. So with that, I will wrap up the presentation.
All right. Supervisors Tues?
I think sending it to LAFCO is probably the best, just because it'll do a much deeper dive to figure out if the dissolution is the proper way to go. I've experienced some of those, and it's not just a simple process. You want to make sure that everything is done and completed properly. I'm going to say that I slightly disagree with one of the board members. What you stated was that their goal was done. I think it's still an ongoing goal of flood control, an ongoing goal of ensuring that Lakeport and their well and things like that are done correctly. You mentioned, I believe, in your memo about the possibility of consolidating some of those issues, or maybe you've already consolidated some of those issues into your Scotts Valley Community Advisory Council. I'm wondering if you can speak to that, because I think that would continue kind of the idea, just take out the financial aspect of it, but just still move the conversation, because that conversation still very much exists and those concerns still exist over in that area.
Yes, and if I may first clarify on, that was a statement from one of the directors who said she believed the mission was accomplished based on my belief of her focus about that one of the 6 reasons, which was monitoring the city of Lakeport. So sorry if there was confusion there, but I was trying to relay what she had stated, what her thought was. 100% agree. I have already presented this to the Scotts Valley Advisory Council, one for transparency to let people in the area know what was going on and what my thoughts were, and also to put it in front of them to state that they were very well suited to continue to advocate and or monitor a lot of these issues that are still on the table, because they are very active and they're still going on. We still have water concerns. We still have flood concerns. Happens every year. But now that this board has created the Scotts Valley Municipal Council, they are
a board that's very well suited and positioned to take input from the public and also to monitor these issues. They have, I can say, you know, they were in full agreement that they want to continue to be involved and hear these things in front of them. So, and then also on the other part of it, I have arranged with the city of Lakeport to now, at least once annually, go in front of the Scotts Valley Municipal Council to give them a report on the city of Lakeport's water usage from the aquifer in Scotts Valley, and to answer any questions about what's going on with their water system. They've happily agreed to do that. They've already done their first one for 2025 back in June, so hopefully that helped answer some of those questions.
I think that's perfect. That's perfect. My only other question really doesn't matter if the LAFCO process and aims towards dissolution, because I'm just kind of curious as to how and when did we stop collecting taxes, but rather than trying to figure that out, let's see if the dissolution is the right way to go, because then that will take care of that problem.
I would love to have an answer for that question for you, and unfortunately was not able to come up with it. I do have a request into the Water Conservation District to see if by chance maybe they have something from years ago, but I also think that that's going to be, LAFCO is going to thoroughly dig into this, and maybe something will come out. But I think our department heads on the financial side can maybe offer. I don't think it's going to be an answer that's going to really give us a lot, but I would welcome that if the chairs, if the board's ready for that.
Yeah, we're ready for that. Go ahead.
Just addressing the tax. There was 1 year, it appears the first year after the resolution, there was 1 year of taxes assessed, the $815 was paid back, and then it's interest. And then, of course, the election fee is the only activity. I have a 20-year report here where that's all that's occurred.
Yeah, and Patrick Sullivan, Treasurer Tax Collector. I would just add that our system has no records going back that far. This all predates Megabyte. And so unless there were delinquencies or other enforcement going on, we don't have any knowledge of that. And as far as physical records go from that period, which is not fully known, we no longer have those either. So there really is no way to, no matter how much we invest in terms of resources, I don't know that we can go any deeper here.
Any other comments? Any on Zoom? All right, I'll bring it back to the board and close public comment. Direction?
So have we already opened to the public?
Yeah.
Okay, so then, unless our board has further questions, I'm ready to make a motion.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lloyd. Yeah.
Did you want to add something, Lloyd, or?
No, just a quick note that with the recommended action being direction of staff, it can be given by motion or consensus.
Okay. Do you have a preference, or?
It's not a public hearing, so it can be given by consensus as long as, if your board wishes to go with the recommended action as it's
He has
framed.
it. I've seen Jessica.
I think we have consensus.
I've said yes. She said yes. Bruno's nodding his head.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Susan.
Yes. Whose staff are we giving direction to?
Oh, that's right.
Well,
Curious.
Thank you.
I can try to address that. I think at this point, I think it would be direction to the CAO and any of her department who she deems appropriate to assist with the 21-day notice, as well as the follow-up with the application and resolution for a later date. Does that help, or?
All right. So with that consensus, that closes this item on the agenda. And we'll
Chair,
go.
can I
Yes,
offer
please.
something? Could we track the time spent on that so that when we end up discussing potentially in the future the $25,000 left over, that we can take a look at that?
Yes, I can track. The only I do know that the fund is restricted, so that it may not be eligible expenses, but we can look into that. We can track them.
All right. With that, we'll close that item, and we'll move on to our calendar, 7.1. Who would like to start?
I'll start.
Go ahead, Supervisor Sabatier.
Thank you.
So, I need to make it to the Registrar of Voters to get my paperwork done that I didn't get done in time. Then tomorrow I have an APC LTA board meeting. It'll be here in City Hall in Lakeport. Did get a phone call. I know a couple of us did, and I routed that to, I know a couple of us also routed it to admin. There seems to be interest in hydrogen production, and so planning to meet with some of those folks and with admin tomorrow, I think with admin tomorrow. Talking to the COC tomorrow, Continuum of Care, for funding discussions with our now board-approved fiscal agent with the Lake County Community Foundations. School at Canocta Unified is starting tomorrow as well, so expect to see the roads packed in the morning and in the afternoon. Starting Judge's Breakfast on Thursday morning at 7 a.m. We are going to have the Maha Project providing a presentation and an update so that those folks down south area, not in the Middletown area, could get a little bit of an update of what's going on. It's been a little while since we've heard from them. Then I am, let's see, official meeting, CSAC finance update will be happening a little bit later. I did go through a CSAC health update on Monday. It was all really, really good news coming from the federal government, and I say that as sarcastically as possible. There really just wasn't much good news to say, but they basically the same things we've been hearing from our behavioral health and from our social services directors to let us know and keep us up to date as to what's going on. Another COC Strategic Planning Committee meeting, and then finishing the day with the Yuba Community College Board District in the evening. Friday's pretty clear, and going to go see Aquanet Saturday, concert in the park in Austin Park. I have a CalCog meeting, which is, I've had the wonderful privilege of being chosen to be the CalCog board member for APC, and luckily they have virtual meetings and I don't always have to travel for those. So I'll have that on Monday. I'll be here on Tuesday on the 19th.
Okay. I'm not quite as together as I should be on this, so let me read it off my calendar itself. I have a meeting at the courthouse here tomorrow with Lloyd, our attorney, and county council. I have animal control advisory committee meeting right on Thursday as well.
Yeah.
And Lake County Rodeo will be meeting at my place on Thursday evening. No, that's Wednesday. I'm sorry. That was Wednesday. I have a meeting on spay and neuters, fixed cat in Calistoga on Wednesday. Lake County Recreation meeting and math on Thursday. Those are the Thursdays. And on the 15th, Middletown Central Park is doing, they have Cash Creek. And if anybody's aware, knows about this band, they are homegrown. They went to Middletown School, a lot of them. And they'll be playing at Central Park for a fundraiser on August 15th. Let me get the time. I think it's a dinner and dance. And it's at 6 p.m. So this is the local band that used to be Way Out West and Silver Creek, also known as them. And some of those guys have made it big. I don't know if Chemo's going to be here, but he was raised in Pope Valley, and he actually plays currently with Alabama. So we have some really cool people that have been out there doing it that will be playing in Middletown. After that, Saturday, I know I've got some stuff on the weekend too. I've also got to set up a meeting with Caltrans this week.
Sure. Tomorrow morning, having a planning meeting for the Cobb Valley Fire anniversary. I'm not sure if the NCO monthly check-in for home hardening is happening. I am also meeting with the Coloma group in the afternoon. And then Big Valley Advisory Committee meeting in the evening. Thursday, Space Committee, Resilient Communities call, and then Lake Rec and a little bit later. And then Friday, I have a constituent meeting in the morning. Coal Creek Advisory. I do not think I'm going to make the NCO Head Start's 60th anniversary in Ukiah because I have another meeting about wool in Lake County, wool scour feasibility study for Lake County. But this week, the work is starting on Coal Creek, so I'm hoping one of these days I can pop in and see the work that's been going on. Soccer season opens on Saturday, so opening day for Clear Lake Youth Soccer, Saturday morning, and then every Saturday for several months. I'll be doing that. And then Monday, meeting with CAO, and then Risk Reduction Authority, and then back on Tuesday.
Vice Chair?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I had a meeting with somebody from Soper Reese, and that's wanted to do a fire-wise type of a town hall in Lakeport. I met with the Lakeport mayor just on discussing issues between the city and the county. I met with Esther Formula, who's going through a permitting process to expand their business out in South Lakeport. I went to the Northern Rural Energy Public Agency meeting last week, attended the COC regular and executive committee meetings last week. Also had my regular meeting with the city manager of Lakeport, attended the Rotary 100-year anniversary this weekend and celebrating all the projects they've done for 100 years. I completed my ethics and conflict training. I was due now to get that updated. I'll have Lakeport Fire Board tonight. I'll be with Supervisor Pyska at the BVAC meeting Wednesday, which will have fire-wise items as well as Sonoma Power. Clean Power will be doing the outreach at that meeting. And then let's see, I will attend the Animal Control Advisory meeting again tomorrow. And I'm also going to meet with this hydrogen company that's coming into Lake County tomorrow. And I'll be at the APC LTA meeting with Supervisor Sabatier. And then on Thursday, I'm going to volunteer at the Cinema by the Shore movie night at Labatten Park in Lakeport. And then I'm also going to be in that meeting with Supervisor Pyska on this wool possible project that wants to discuss their possibility of putting in an application for something somewhere around Big Valley area, I believe. And that wraps it up.
All right. I think the same group for the hydrogen, I think I'll see them tonight.
Okay.
Yeah. I think his name's Mr. Cunningham or something like
so,
that. Yeah. So I'll see him tonight, be at RCRC tomorrow because I'm traveling there tonight. Then going to the Golden State Natural Resources Board meeting in Tuolumne on the 14th, so that'll be Thursday. Coming back here if I can make it in time for a constituent meeting I have in Clear Lake Oaks. If not, I'll push it back to Monday. If I have that Monday, then I'll be going from there to the Risk Reduction Authority meeting on Monday, and then back here on Tuesday for the Board of Supervisors meeting. All right, calendar's done. It looks like we have one last item on the agenda, which is our 8.1, Public Employee Appointment Pursuant to Government Code, Section 54957B1, Interviews for Animal Care and Control Director, Appointment of Animal Care and Control Director. With that, we'll see you after closed session.